All right, your headlight's apart. Now what do you do? So let's talk about how you reseal a headlight. This one we have a S60R. This is a Volvo headlight. It is sealed with butyl. So you mentioned in a previous video, when you're removing the butyl, the best guess here is about 215, 220 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 or 20 minutes is usually a great way to get that to separate. Very easy to do, especially on the Volvo lights. What you're left with is 20-year-old goo, right? So what we would recommend in this case is when it's warm, you come in and you're going to clean out all of these channels. Usually just a flat blade screwdriver is usually the best thing to use. It doesn't have to be pristine, but you do need to get all this goo out. If you look closely, this one has a lot of dirt and debris just from over the years of this stuff collecting. You really don't want to seal that back into the light. So once your channels are clean, now it's time to replace it. So we would use a butyl-based sealant. In this case, probably do a gray-based one to bring it back to OEM spec. Of course, you could do black as well, there's no difference. And then you're gonna run that in the channel as well. Heat that up slightly. You don't want it to be too large. Sometimes the butyl can stretch a bit so you can thin it out. Sometimes you need to add a little bit extra, but you want one continuous line. And what I personally like to try to do is finish the line and start it in the same point at the bottom of the light. So my top gets a full seal of the rope, and then at the bottom is where they come together. Make sure that those are pinching together. When they're warmed up, you're ready to go. Now that warmed up butyl is now ready for the application of the lens to be reinstalled. So of course you would do that after your retrofit is all done. And I wanted to show you guys an empty housing here just to show you what we would do to reseal a headlight. Now if it's a permanent or a permaseal light, you would do the same steps, clean out the channels, and in most cases we would probably recommend putting butyl in place of the permaseal. However, you can use a urethane sealant or something like that to permanently seal the light back up. So the options are yours. That's what we would typically do. The next thing you need to think about is how the lens is going to clamp back to the housing. You just don't want it stuck with only butyl because that could potentially move and kind of open back up over time. So the Volvo light has retaining clips. Porsche Cayenne, for example, actually uses staples, and you could even put a screw in there if you want, which is going to attach the lens to the housing, and then the permanent seal, or the butyl, seals the weather out, while the hardware has a mechanical adhesion, keeping the lens from moving back and forth. Hope that helps, guys. Keep on retrofitting, and reach out if you have any questions at HIDprojectors.com.